My dad said, "You think you know everything." I said, "Enough to leave." I was 18, freshly graduated, and living in the cramped attic of my parents' house. Dad had that look, the one where every word he said carried the weight of being right, even when he wasn't. I'd spent months saving, working shifts at the local grocery store, scraping together enough to finally move out. Mom barely noticed. She was too busy pretending the house didn't smell like old pizza boxes and forgotten laundry. The argument started over nothing, actually over everything. Dad accused me of thinking I knew it all. "You think you know everything," he said, pacing like the universe depended on his opinion. I paused, staring at the peeling wallpaper, and said what I'd rehearsed for weeks. "Enough to leave." He laughed, sharp and hollow, like the sound of the attic door rattling in the wind. He said I'd regret it, that the world outside was cruel, but I didn't flinch. That night, I packed a single backpack, clothes, my laptop, a notebook filled with half-finished dreams, and sneaked out while they were asleep. The streetlights made the pavement silver, and for the first time in years, it felt like breathing without chains. I moved into a tiny studio downtown. Rent consumed half my paycheck, ramen became my best friend, and I discovered that life outside wasn't cruel. It was honest. I worked odd jobs, learned the bus routes, made friends who didn't judge the fact that I still sometimes cried over my parents' old kitchen table. I discovered joy in tiny victories, getting my first freelance gig, cooking a meal without burning it, paying rent on time. At first, I kept the distance strict. I didn't answer calls, I didn't text. But one night, I saw Dad on social media, posting pictures of expensive dinners and cars, acting like life had gone perfectly. I realized the truth. He was trying to mask the chaos. My chest tightened. I felt a strange mix of guilt and vindication. That same week, Mom called. She sounded tired, exhausted. "We miss you," she whispered. I felt the tug, but I stayed strong. Months later, Dad called. I didn't answer at first. When I finally picked up, his voice was different, flat, strained. "You're doing fine without us?" he asked, and I realized he wasn't angry anymore. He was scared. I let him stew for a beat. Then I said, "Better than fine. I'm living my life, and I don't need lectures on how to survive it." A few weeks later, news came that hit like a thunderclap. Dad had gambled away half his savings trying to teach me a lesson, and the house had been foreclosed. I felt a twinge of pity, sure, but mostly relief. I wasn't there. I wasn't trapped. I didn't have to watch it collapse from inside the walls I'd once called home. I sent a postcard, a simple skyline of the city I'd claimed as mine, with one line written in neat, deliberate handwriting. "Thanks for the motivation." I never went back. Mom tried once, asking if I wanted to visit, but I knew the attic would still smell like regrets. I had my own apartment, my own life, and the freedom to make mistakes without someone shouting over me. Freedom tasted like cheap coffee at dawn, like late-night walks on empty streets, like the thrill of knowing that the only person I answer to now is me. In the quiet mornings, I thought about the life I had almost let slip away. I realized that Dad's lectures weren't always about being right. They were about control. And leaving had been the first time I truly took control for myself. Every job I got, every late-night meal I cooked, every friendship I built felt like reclaiming pieces of a self I had almost lost under his shadow. And every time I passed my old neighborhood, I smile. Dad thought I needed him to guide me. The truth? I needed to leave to learn how to live. And maybe, just maybe, that was the only lesson he never realized he was teaching.